DTI fam, what's good, baby? Another week to be grateful, thankful, happy, blessed, because we still here, we still rocking. Things might not be going the way you want. Things might be going the way you want. But at the end of the day, we got to keep pushing forward. I'm not going to sit down here and talk about like the habits and this and that today. I actually want to dive into one of the habits. So Dylan and I are releasing a podcast this week. If you're listening to this, it'll be posted tomorrow about our 7 habits. In no particular order, but we'll talk about what 7 habits that we implement daily or how we view weekly that we focus on that makes us live a healthier, happier lifestyle and what we think is important. And so again, my habits are going to look different than your habits will look different than mine. But what the takeaway is just implementing something into your life on a day-to-day basis that you can continue to check the box to see progress, to keep moving forward. And one of mine that I spoke about was journaling and the importance of it. Now, if you don't journal, please don't tune this out. If you do journal, also please don't tune this out, because I truly believe that there is an art to journaling. And over the years, I have found great excitement about it. And I've also found like great value in journaling. So about 2-3 weeks ago on the pod, Dylan and I were talking about the 5-year journal. That is the journal that I have. Lo got it for me 1 year, and you can see that first year, the inconsistency. You can see the second year, the inconsistency. The third year, you can see the consistency picking up on the previous years. And this year, I have not missed a day in 2025, and I'm very happy that I haven't, because when you start building that journal out, whether you're new to journaling or old to journaling, whether you have a prompted journal or whether you write in a notebook or an app on your phone, I think that everybody should get a 5-year journal, and that is why DTI will be creating their own 5-year journal for people to purchase because of the value that's behind it. I know Dylan just bought himself one a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and so he's going to start it. But I bring up how the first year was inconsistent. The second year was a little bit more consistent, but the third year and now this 4th year, things have really picked up because I think over the years, my mindset had shifted. In the beginning, I used to view journaling as like, why am I doing this? What is the point of it? I don't see the value. But I did it because Lo got it for me. And so I was like, all right, well, let me dabble in this. And I would be really good for 2 months. And then I'd be really bad for 3 months. And then I'd be good for a week. And then I'd be off for 2 weeks. And then I'd be on and off. And it was just this back and forth pattern that I'm seeing now that I get to reflect each day on the previous years. So if you don't know what a 5-year journal is, it is a journal that has 1 page. And within that page, there's little paragraph sections. And they all start with 20, and then you'll fill in the corresponding year. 20, and then you'll write 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And as I continue to progress in my journaling venture, it just like is wild to me how I see the growth, how I see the mindset shift, how I see myself working through things, because these aren't prompted. They're just blank paragraphs that you fill in, about like 5 to 8 lines, I would say. Some days I just write a quote. Other days I talk about my pops. Other days I talk about stuff that's going on in life. Some days I'll talk about struggles that I have with friends or my relationships. Some days I'll talk about the good that's going on. Or I'll talk about the new job that I have. Or I'll talk about goals and ambitions that I want to achieve. And so it's so cool because I had wrote in there at the last company that I worked with that I wanted to be the #1 seller. When I like first stuck to that, or when I first got that job, I was like, I'm going to be the #1 seller in this company one day. I'm going to lock in the biggest sale in company history one day. And then I look back a year later and it's like, oh shit, I achieved that. Get to give myself a little bit of kudos. And then I look back and I used to work for this company, and then it's like, all right, you started with this new company. And I'm like, man, life's amazing right now. I'm loving this new company. The grass was greener on the other side. There's so many good that's going on in life. And like, you get to sit back and reflect on just the progress that you're making. And like some of the journal entries, they're hard hitting, they're deep. But then you also get to look at that and be like, bro, you're not in the same place that you were this time last year, this time 2 years ago. Keep going, keep striving, keep working towards this stuff. And so you just get to build on these things, but it keeps you aware, and it takes you back in time. Like, we always are forward thinking. But we're never like present, and we're never in the moment. At least for myself, like I am traveling all the time. I got all this stuff going on. You should see my August, September, and October. It's so busy that I literally had to create a spreadsheet with Lo to be like, here's what we have. Here are the prices for different airlines. Here are the prices for different hotels. This is where we're going to stay. This is where we're not. This is where we have to rent a car. This is where we're not. Because it was just so overwhelming that I was like, all right, we need to put this down on paper and then just start checking things off. How can we take off as little days as possible here and take off a couple more here? How can we alter this? And so being present and being in the moment is a lot harder nowadays just because of everything that's going on in the world. Our jobs, careers, our passions, our drives, making time for friends and family, making time for side hustles, making time to just be with each other since we're not. And so like that's what some people don't realize, is that life is busy. And just because I'm a little bit more distant doesn't mean that I'm doing it intentionally. Doesn't mean that I want to do that. Doesn't mean that like I have this drive to be like, you know what, I'm going to pull back from everything and everyone in my life, and I'm just going to like, life is so busy that sometimes you just have to take a deep breath and analyze it for what it is. Sometimes that's staying in on the weekends, not hanging out with people. Sometimes that's not doing that week over week, month over month, because it's just how busy life is. And when you finally get a chance to just it's nice to just be present with Lo and I and Decker. And so as we're planning this out, and I'm writing in my journal just about like everything that's going on in life, I'm like, man, this journal is so impactful. It's so powerful because it's allowing me to be present with what's going on a day-to-day, week by week, month by month basis in this thing. And so not only do I get to be present, but I also get to look back and remind myself, like, dude, you've made these strides here. Or, man, look at where you were there. Like, pick it back up. You can get steam ahead. You can do things. But you just got to reflect. You got to be cognizant, and you have to be aware of what life is throwing at you. You have to be aware that even though things are busy right now, though things are crazy, even though finances might not be where you want, even though you're spending a lot of money here on travel, like, it will be okay as long as you plan, as long as you keep pushing forward in the right direction. And so that's one thing that I really, really love about this 5-year journal, is it not only allows me to be present in the moment of life, but it also lets me look back at life to be grateful for where I'm at. Because it might be extremely busy right now, and we might be spending a lot of money on travel, and we might have to figure out logistics of when we're going to drop the dogs off, and when I can leave versus when you can leave, or can we leave together, or can we do this, can we do that? But guess what? 2 years ago, I was talking about the mental battles that I was facing. I was talking about the things that are hard hitting. I was talking about hard conversations I was having. I was talking about all these things that are way bigger than what's going on right now. And so it reminds me, like, dude, life might be fucking busy and crazy right now, or life might seem like, you know, you're spending money faster than it's coming in. But guess what, bro? You don't feel like that no more. You don't have those thoughts no more. You've learned how to adapt and overcome those things. No, guess what, bro? You are the #1 seller in the company. Oh, guess what? You just started this job a year ago, and guess what? You just got Q2 highest seller in the company. Or like, you used to be fucking eating and drinking like shit because you're on the road so much, but now you're the lowest weight that you've been. You're feeling better than ever. Or like, you might not be sleeping good, but now you're sleeping great. Like, it gives you time to look back in life and just be like, man, be grateful, dude, because you're so much better than where you were 2 years ago. And it might seem like you're at wit's end right now, but you're not. You've built this shield, you built this armor around yourself, around your mindset, around your fitness, around your business, around your professional career. So keep going, don't stop. And so that's why I think it's important that everybody has a 5-year journal, because they can be present in today, but also reflect back on the past to see how much growth and progress they've made, or to catch themselves slipping before they let themselves slip even further. Man, when I was at my darkest times in Dallas, I tell myself all the time, I never want to go back to how low life was at that point. And the journal helps remind me that life doesn't have to get that low, that you can communicate, that you can plan, that you can adapt and overcome, that if you're consistently good over occasionally great, that things will happen, change will happen. And so I was going to do this episode on manifestation and talk about the great benefits of manifestation and how it makes you align with what you actually want to achieve and accomplish in this world. That it might not come true if you just speak about it, but when you put action behind it, it can happen. Because manifestation to me is like something that you work towards, something that you strive for, something that comes because you're putting that consistent effort in. Dylan and I have dreams and goals of how we want to grow DTI that we haven't told anybody. Because it's a business. You got to adapt. You got to figure out things. How can we grow? How can we develop? How can we take this from a hobby to a business? And because we're manifesting what this is going to turn into, it's helping us align with what paths we have to go down, what action we have to take, what things we have to do to try and get there. And so use that in your own way and how it fits in your life. Like, what do you want? Do you want a family? Okay, well, if you want a family, step back. First and foremost, how are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of yourself mentally? Are you taking care of yourself physically? Are you taking care of yourself financially? Because all three of those things are extremely important if you want to have a family. All three of them are. And not one is more important than the other. Because the main important thing is that you're showing up for yourself daily. And so if you want a family and you want to start this next chapter in life, you have to ask yourself, is it or isn't going to happen? Am I going to set that foundation? I'm going to set that path forward for a kid, for a husband, for a wife. That's something that can make them strive and grow, learn and develop, adapt and overcome. Or is the lifestyle that you're living right now one that you're not even proud of? One that you know that you need to make improvements on. Not that you have to beat yourself up on it, but you have to think, how am I showing up for me daily? And that 5-year journal helps you think of that, helps you navigate it, and helps you stick to a plan, stick to a script. Because guess what? Those are your thoughts on that paper. Those are your life events on that paper. That's your mindset on that paper. It ain't nobody else's. So it's one of the number one accountability things that I think somebody can do in order to continue to build the life that they want and continue to get over mental battles and to continue to get over physical limitations and to continue to shift a mindset. Because if you leave all these thoughts up here of why I'm not this and why I'm not that and why this isn't happening to me and why, if you leave it all up here, that's all that's going to fester. That's all that's going to manifest in there. So none of that stuff is going to come true. The world tries to manifest things by speaking it into existence. Speaking it into existence plays a big role in it. But you know what plays a bigger role? Those actions that you take, the habits that you have in place, the stuff that you focus on and work towards. Every day you wake up, you should think, how can I be the best version of myself? If you're married, how can I be the best version of myself to show up for my spouse? If you're married and have kids, how do I wake up every single day? Prioritize myself so that way I can show up for them. So that way I can set the standard. That way I can be the standard that everybody in this house is going to be happy and healthy. That everybody in this house, no matter what they go through, is going to make it through. Who's that accountability partner? An accountability partner is great because they can be doing it with you and they can motivate you and stuff like that. But if you don't have the discipline to show up when that accountability partner is not there, then how do you expect to see that growth, to see that success, to see that stride that you want in life? Journaling gives us that superpower to be our own accountability partner. and to be that person that needs to show up for us on days that we don't even know they need to show up for us. Because when I look at that journal and I see some of those thoughts that I was having, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to get back there. So I show up for myself and I get it done. When I look in there and I'm like, man, there's so much going on in life, the funds, the this, that. But then a year later, I see like, man, we got a new house that we're renting, building, buying. Man, we got cars paid off. Man, it's like, oh, that's what it was for. That's what the struggle, that's what the busy time, that's what the heartache, that's what the confusion, that's what it all looks like. That's why I'm showing up for myself. Y'all, we gotta stop relying on other people. I don't care if it's your significant other. I don't care if it's your best friend. I don't care if it's somebody that you talk to and when you see them, it's like nothing ever happened. Like no time was wasted. I don't give a shit who it is. If you don't have the mental capacity, if you don't have the discipline to be able to hold yourself accountable through every stage of life, you're gonna lose every single day, every single week, every single month of the year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so to me, it's important to find ways to be able to be that accountability partner, to find ways to be that version of myself I want to be. Whether that's listening to podcasts, reading a book, talking on these things to hopefully help you convert your mindset, talking on the podcast, talking with our clients, reflecting with friends and family. See, now that's all the stuff that helps me show up for me every single day. And this isn't me being cocky like I'm the best person there is and I got it all figured out, because I don't. I don't fucking have it out. My 5-year journal shows that I have it far from figured out. But again, it allows me to reflect on my own actions, my own thoughts, my own visions. And that's the powerful part. Because it holds me accountable to be like, you know what, I'm going to show up today because I'm thankful that I'm not there. Or I'm going to show up today because look at where I was last year. I need to surpass that. If you feel like you're falling in a tunnel right now, financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it is, and you feel like you just can't get traction, it's because you're not doing things daily in order to revert that, to change it, and to see that pendulum swing a different way. And so not only will I challenge you to get a 5-year journal, but I want to challenge you to reflect on your actions, to reflect on your mindset, to reflect on the life that you're living. If things ain't good in the household, that ain't on your partner. That ain't on that person. It's on you. It's on you to start reflecting, to start thinking, to see how you're showing up, to see if you're motivating that person to show up. It ain't always going to be this 50-50 split, where if you're in a relationship and it's like, oh, it's 50-50. If I can't show up, then they'll show up. And if they're not showing up, then I'll show up. No, fuck that. Some days it might be 100% to 0. Some days it might be 95-5. And then some days that might switch when you're having a bad month or a bad week or a bad year. So don't forget that the things that we bitch about, the things that we complain about, are just another hurdle in life to figure out, to communicate towards, to work towards. Take time to internally reflect and see how you're showing up for yourself. And if you're like, nope, I got it all, I'm showing up, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, then take even longer to reflect. Because we all have things that we can do better, that we can be better about, and that we can keep striving towards, to not only help ourselves out, but then show up and help out in our jobs, in our relationships, in our families, in our friendships. That's why I get up at 5 a.m. So that way I can show up for me before the day gets busy. There's no excuses. And where there's no excuses and where you can continue to strive and push forward towards, you'll see that breakthrough happen. So I tell you to go out there and buy a 5-year journal, but give DTI a little bit of time and we will be coming out with a 5-year journal. I'm going to start working on it and we're going to make it happen. But in the meantime, Go out there, live a happy, healthy lifestyle. Turn your dreams into reality. Start manifesting. Put action behind that manifestation. So that way the plan can happen and things can continue to work out. That's all I got for y'all today. Much love. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll talk soon. It's on.